Hey, MMT followers, Christina Fuges with Moldmaking Technology back for another quick MMT chat. My guest today is Nicole Vlanich, who is the Executive Director with CAMM, the Canadian Association of Moldmakers. And we are here to talk about the future of moldmaking and how a new initiative that was launched in August 2025 called CAMM TechBridge is using innovation and education to help build the next generation of talent. So, hello, Nicole.
Hi, thanks for having me.
No problem. All right, first, I'm going to take a stab at defining CAM TechBridge, and then you tell me if I got it right. So, CAM TechBridge is a program that is helping to grow the next generation of mold makers and manufacturers by using tools like virtual reality training, connecting with students, schools, and employers, and offering support to make careers in mold making and manufacturing easier to start and succeed in. Did I get that right?
Exactly. And
Okay.
addressing misconceptions about the skilled trades and mold making specifically.
Excellent. All right, let's first talk about vision and like your motivation. So, what was the aha moment that led you to start CAM TechBridge?
So I've been with CAM for just over 4 years, and I've attended a variety of roundtable discussions, and it was always the same concerns or challenges that manufacturers were facing. Skilled labor shortage, we need to get into the schools, those sort of things. So I carried that with me and put it all together. And actually talking with my kids about virtual
Mm.
reality video games, that sparked the idea for the training. I knew that they were using virtual reality for things like surgeons. So I thought, well, why not manufacturing? And that's where the birth of TechBridge and the financial supports was to make it easier, reduce all barriers. Getting into the high schools was just a no-brainer. Making the VR simulator to target youth so that they get an experience in a shop without actually having to be there, connecting with teachers and parents in manufacturing months. So for the whole month of October, it all just fell together from the idea for the VR.
So, let's rewind a little bit. Talk to me a little about your own path in manufacturing and leadership that kind of fed into this because there's a lot of work involved in this. So, I think you need to share your background, that how you were even set up to take this on.
Yeah, so when I started with CAM, I had no manufacturing knowledge or background at all. I have two university degrees, both are in social sciences, so completely irrelevant to manufacturing.
Right.
I did actually collections at the University of Windsor before taking this role. So there was a big learning curve, but everyone was really welcoming and answered all of my questions, welcomed me into their shops so that I could pick things up. And the one big thing that I learned about mold making in Canada, but really in Windsor, Essex, which is where I am, is they're so passionate and dedicated about what they do. They love talking about it. It's
Yep.
just something that they just love. And that for me was a motivator because it's great to see people so passionate in what they do. Whether it's a shop owner or somebody that works on the floor, they all kind of had that passion and love for what they do. And I think that's unique when you think about careers and jobs that people do. So
I couldn't agree with you more about the mold making community. They are very passionate about what they do. I mean, it's an art, it's a science, it's a craft, and yeah, they're such natural born troubleshooters. Everything about it, just like they ooze it. It's very hard for them to leave this trade, to be quite honest. So, when you first got introduced to mold making, what was your perspective then? And then how has it changed, 4 years later?
it was at the beginning it was scary because it seemed like so much to learn coming in, not having any knowledge. My dad was a millwright in tool and die, so I had the knowledge of the child of a tradesman.
Mhm.
But it's nothing like where I am now. So where my perspective kind of has changed is really admiring what they do and seeing the precision and the technicality that it involves, the equipment and the machinery that they use and how high tech it is, the cleanliness of the shop. So I will say I was very much guilty, even myself, of believing the myths and misconceptions that people have about these shops. And so I was able to go in and say, oh, this isn't at all what I thought. I always thought it was dirty and I thought it was this and that. And it's not. And so I think having had that perspective and have it change makes me uniquely qualified to be able to address those misconceptions because I know what changed my mind.
Yep, there you go. All right, so let's go back to CAMM TechBridge and talk a little bit about overcoming barriers. So, a project this big, it could not have been easy. I mean, you're working to have mold making designated as a Red Seal trade, which, for those not familiar, is a Canadian initiative that provides a common standard for training and certification for the skilled trades. You're also rolling out VR training and you're launching workforce programs, etc. So, talk to me about the biggest hurdles that you encountered and how did you manage to keep moving things forward?
So I think for something this at this scale, Cam's never done anything this large even before I came involved, and I definitely haven't.
Hmm.
So there was a lot of fear and challenges involved in taking it on. Um, what I can say is I'm very lucky with the people we've partnered with, the vendors that I selected, and our board of directors because they're all very involved. They know what they're doing from development to involving companies, all the way through. So I have a lot of help in that regard. But it is challenging in making sure that we're addressing what needs to be addressed, that there's the red tape is minimal for things like financial supports because that's a
Hmm.
challenge for something, we offer, for example, childcare assistance, but a lot of childcare assistance from other programs require them to pay up front. Well, that's a barrier that we wanted to remove. So that's, something that we've addressed within our support program. Um, so I think that just knowing where the barriers were, talking to people and finding out what was needed and having really good partnerships with other organizations has really allowed this to become what it is.
Yeah, it's like what is that expression? Like it takes a village, right? It's not just one person. You need others to be involved in this and to help solve the problem, not just talk about it. I know, I guess the Chambers of Commerce of Windsor, Essex, and Ontario. What is their role and how have they helped you?
So I joined the advocacy committee with the Windsor Essex Chamber of Commerce to bring the Red Seal designation request forward. Again, it takes a village. It's not something that we would be able to do on our own. There's many people before me that have tried to do it unsuccessfully. So I knew that it wasn't a one person job.
Right.
So within that committee, they brought it forward to the provincial chamber, who passed the request. So now it moves up to the province from the Ontario Chamber. So we have all of these individuals backing it and supporting it, that it's
Mhm.
something that's needed, which is really what we needed to move it forward. So now we're at the final step. We just need the province to sign off on it and agree that it's needed, and then we will be designated a red seal trade within the tool and die umbrella, getting
Nice.
all of the benefits that come with that, which also includes provincial support for apprentices, grant programs, and things like
Nice.
that. So it's good for the companies, but it's also good for individuals looking at these careers. And
Absolutely.
we know parents, when they hear it's a red seal designated trade, to them that means that it's more valid. So to have that designation when we're trying to engage new individuals into these careers will help solidify that for the parents.
I
And
love that. It kind of like is legitimizing, right? This career path for people that might not really be aware of it or its value.
exactly, that's
Quite the
exactly
journey.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
it's been
let's,
many years of trying to get it done. Like I said, there was many people before me, gone to Ottawa, did all these things. So I think all of that having had happened got us to this point. So it was 10 plus years of work really to get to where we are now.
that's what people have to understand too. Like it's going to seem like you're able to take it through the finish line, right? Take it over that finish line. But all those years of work and people that tried to do it, you have to be patient too. Like things don't happen overnight.
That's
To
exactly
make
it.
stuff really happen. All right, let's talk about the fun stuff. So let's talk a little bit about virtual reality because using VR in mold making, that's pretty groundbreaking. So, but I mean, I've used some of those goggles. Sometimes I'm not a gamer, right? So even putting something on can seem a little off-putting to me, but I've used some apps where you're really able to do things that I didn't even think were possible, like realistically taking a mold apart, looking at parts, identifying them. But how do you think it's going to change the way apprentices and companies are going to approach training?
So I definitely think one of the complaints or concerns that companies have had with bringing in an apprentice is they're so green walking into the shop that it takes so long to get them familiar first before they can actually start training.
Hmm.
So virtual reality training kind of takes care of that. They're familiar with the equipment in a virtual and a safe environment, and we don't have to worry about slowing production. They're learning the machines, they're learning about the PPE, they're learning about all of that before they even step on the shop floor, which is reducing that burden on the trainer.
Hmm.
So, and we've also included free train the trainer workshops to increase the number of trainers available. So that way, just to address everything. But I think from the VR perspective, right now we're developing three modules: foundation, CNC mill, and CNC lathe. The
Okay.
plan is year after year to develop more and more until we have a comprehensive suite that kind of covers everything. These are shorter, bite-sized programs that are training one specific thing, so it's not very time consuming. We
Hmm.
don't require people to sit for weeks in the VR headsets and train. They can learn little bits at a time. But I think that it just reduces that burden on the employer that they can bring these people on, sign up for our wage subsidy so we can help them
Nice.
pay them to train, and then get them ready to go into the shop and have familiarity
Have
without
a
ever actually been in the shop.
right, a nice foundation. A nice
Exactly.
foundation. Where is the curriculum coming from?
So industry. So we
Okay.
have we prepared the technical learning outcomes with um, individuals from different companies. So we invited a lot of our members and non-members from industry to give their insights. We met with them, prepared a list of what was needed, what they thought was the most important to train on first, and what should be included in that training. And then as it continued to be developed, we had industry involvement and got their feedback on things. And now as we come to the finish line of development for the VR, we're bringing them back in. They'll get the first, you know, crack at going through the VR
Nice.
environment so they can come back and tell us, maybe this should look a little bit different, or this looks really good, this is perfect, to make sure that what we've developed is as accurate as possible.
Great. Do you want to give a shout out to who the VR company is, who you're partnering with?
Yeah, Virtualware. So
Okay.
Virtualware developed our VR training. They've been excellent partners. They've really every step of the way been very helpful. They answer questions because as much as I have my experience in playing VR video games with my kids, I'm by no means a VR expert. So, and I am also not a mold making expert. So, they've been very helpful in, every step towards development. And I'm really excited to see what they develop. And then
Yeah, me too.
our VR simulator is Calian VR. So we had two
Okay.
companies develop the two separate VR components.
Oh, wait,
Um,
explain that. So what's the VR and the simulator? What's the
We got the
difference?
VR training, which will train the
Okay.
individuals. It's got the three modules. The VR simulator is more youth focused, or, people that job seekers that have no idea about manufacturing, and it gives them a day in the life of a mold maker. So, and
Okay.
the simulation is real fun. They're able to use the spray gun to spray the NPC, so the non-player character that's walking them through the shop,
Okay.
and they get in trouble. They says you're supposed to be cleaning the equipment. They throw a frisbee at the end, so it's really neat and fun, compared to the VR training component, which actually trains them and is more formal. So it's
Okay.
we can get them into the VR simulator to say this is a day in the life of a mold maker. This is what you may experience, and then if they're interested, then we can move them into the training component, um, and they can get ready to work.
I love it. I love it. All right. So it sounds like the Tech Bridge, that's touching a lot of groups. You got apprentices, parents, teachers, guidance counselors, employers. Like, how do you make sure everyone is or feels involved, and that they each see mold making as a real career option? How are you keeping them all together?
Recognizing that they all need different information.
Okay.
So starting from youth, targeting the information towards them. The careers are fun, the high tech, the information that they want to know as, in their late teens, getting ready to graduate high school, considering what they want to be when they grow up. Parents, they want to know that this is a viable career for my kid. They're going to be able to make a good living, that it's going to be safe, that sort of thing. And then for the employers, it's offering them the support and the connections
Mm.
that they need to connect with these individuals, job seekers, incumbent workers. And then the schools kind of fall in the middle. So that's where, being able to go to the schools is so important because then we can connect employers with the high schools. So that helps the OYAP programs, the co-op programs, things like that. But also we're able to connect the employers with the parents and the
Mm.
students so then we're creating a pipeline of connection
Oh, I
within
like that.
within TechBridge and within these events to make sure that we're here and we're offering, throughout the year to go to different manufacturing classes, help with curriculum support. So things that we've developed that are directly linked to the secondary school curriculum, manufacturing or careers programs. Let the kids try our VR simulator. So, we're always there. Bring manufacturers to speak so that we're just creating this ongoing connection with the secondary schools currently in Ontario, to make sure that kids, parents, guidance counselors, employers all have this connection and we just help facilitate it.
I love it. The pipeline of connection. In your opinion, which of those groups of people has been the hardest to reach?
Historically, I would say parents and guidance
Okay.
counselors, I think in the past have been the hardest. I will say that with TechBridge and what I'm working on, I've met with the teachers and educators and the guidance counselors at the schools and that we will be attending in October.
Okay.
And they've been very welcoming and open to this. I think that, this is something that, from what I'm told, nobody's tried to do.
Okay.
And now that we're doing it, they're very excited about it. The guidance counselors welcome the information. They want to make sure that they're knowledgeable in what they're recommending to kids. And I think with the parents, it's difficult when you do, one day kind of career fair, job fair that they attend with their kid and they get to talk to you for 2 minutes and then that's it.
Right.
They take a pamphlet, they take a card, and then there's no follow-up. This gives the opportunity. So on the first Friday in October is manufacturing day. So the kids get to go do shop tours. And then throughout the month, they get to bring their parents to come talk to us,
Mhm.
get relevant information, see presentations, and really see what these careers are about with more time
Yep.
available. Talk to the company people, company representatives, see what molds are, all of the things that we've developed. So I think that we've recognized the challenging groups and made sure that we're addressing that so they have that information as well.
I love it. I mean, you definitely are hitting all the hot button roles in a child's future, right? And I've always heard that guidance counselors tend to be the toughest ones. Like, so you have to put this on their radar as an option for kids that come to them that a lot of them know university is not going to be for them. So to have a concrete option is finally, right? And something that's going to be appealing to them. The way you're presenting it sounds like it just could be more acceptable this way. We shall
Well,
see, right?
it is, no fault of their own. When you think about
Hmm.
the path that a guidance counselor has taken, they've taken the university path. They've likely never stepped foot in a shop.
Right.
And if teachers, as we know, they're busy and their
Hmm.
time is taken up. So it's not like they have time to go and research individual careers on their
Right.
own.
Right.
So this is a way of kind of meeting them where they are, the same with the kids and the parents, and going to them. And that's was one of the parts of TechBridge that I wanted to make sure was it's reducing the burden on the school boards money wise. It
Yep.
doesn't cost them anything. Just open their doors to us. We're bringing the information that they need so that the guidance counselors have it. Because if they don't have the information to give to the students, then how do they know what to tell them? And,
Exactly.
and the narrative that you're too smart for the trades or you're too smart for college or you're too smart for this, you have to go to university. That's one of the things that I also want to make sure that we change because some of the smartest people I've met in my life were in the trades.
Yeah.
And, like my dad's a really good example. He was the smartest man that I've ever met. He was a millwright. And so that's something that we also have to recognize is that's not accurate to
No.
say. And kids learn differently. And we also have to recognize that as well, that the university path isn't for everyone.
Exactly.
And, and of course, there's some that they thrive and it's what they do and they get a career out of it and it's great, but that's not the course that everybody should take.
Exactly. And we call them the skilled trades for a reason, right? I mean, they're skilled. And what you're
Exactly.
doing again is legitimizing it by setting this all up. It's almost going to be a no-brainer for somebody that has never thought of a career in manufacturing, and specifically mold making, because they never heard of it. You are positioning it to be something, oh my gosh, like where has this been all my life, right? Like I didn't know this was a thing.
Well, and they leave with no debt. See,
Yeah,
that's a big thing that we
exactly.
also have to, let parents know and these kids know, and job seekers in general know is you walk away with no debt. You earn while you learn. So
Yep.
you're an apprentice, but you're getting paid.
Yep.
And when you're done, you're going to be a skilled worker. You're going to have a skill behind you, allowing you to use creativity and do these great things and have no debt that you're carrying
Yep.
with you,
And
which
have
is,
no
I think,
problem finding a job either.
exactly, which I think is so important for people to understand.
I agree. All right, looking ahead, what does success look like to you in about 5 years for CAMM TechBridge?
I'd like for people to be looking forward to Manufacturing Month. I think that, that's something that we have people, company or schools and companies reaching out to us wanting to participate, saying, are you going to come to my school? Are you coming to my area? Parents as well. For the training, I'd like to think that we have in 5 years a nice suite of training programs available in the VR that the same sort of thing that people are coming to us and are really interested in enrolling. I think that's the dream. That's, kind of the plan. Um, as well as just ongoing involvement with the schools, continuing to make those connections, facilitate those connections, with the VR simulator, getting people involved and really addressing the skilled labor issue. And, I'd like to, in 5 years, I'd like to think that CAM will be able to say that we played a part in addressing this for our industry.
All right, if people want more information, where do you want to direct them to?
My email, so nicole@cam.ca, or they can check out our website at www.cam.ca.
All right, thank you, Nicole. This was a great, so much information. Thank you so much for leading this, getting the right people at the table to make this happen. And I hope it's an example that can spread beyond the local area and just grows and grows and grows. And other nations take an example from how, where this is going to take people to really lift up manufacturing and specifically mold making as a very viable, much needed career option. So again, thank you, Nicole, for everything you're doing. For everybody out there watching, remember, for everything mold making, visit moldmakingtechnology.com and stay informed and stay inspired.